All right, guys. So what you could expect from Harper Living is a lot of storytelling. I am a sucker for stories. I love listening to a great love story. I love listening to a good story with a good plot twist. I love telling stories, and I feel like everything that's happened into my life, and I know you feel this way as well, it happens for a reason. I am a strong believer everyone that comes into our life comes into our reason, our life for a purpose, for a reason, for a season, for a lifetime. And this is how I met Elise. Who is Elise? How did I meet my dearest friend Elise? So Sukhvir, my husband, was doing his business is Open Prime Homes. So one of his properties that he was working on, a woman came in that was interested in the property, and her name was Elise. He hit it off. Her and Sid were amazing people. And he's like, you know what? You should have been there. You would have really liked Elise. I was like, you meet so many people, Sukhvir. I'm sure I would have loved her. Anyways, she was going to come in to take a look at the property again. And he's like, you got to come in. You got to meet Elise. So I was like, okay, I'll come meet this Elise. I went in. Sure enough, instantly, her and I hit it off. But for some reason, we just got to talking, and we talked so much that we didn't even exchange numbers. I didn't know her IG. She didn't know who I was. We just kind of went our separate ways. She found another property. She actually ended up moving. I did not know that at the time. Weeks later, I do this amazing photo shoot and collaboration with the Little White House. I love my Little White House. This is actually one of the dresses that I'm wearing from the Little White House. And I'm sitting there, I'm standing in line. I am actually purchasing this jug right here. And I saw it, I loved it, it's in my hand. I get a text on Instagram, DM from Elise saying, hey, I just saw you on the Little White House reel. I had no idea you did this, or you were present on social media, you're an influencer. And I was like, oh yeah, I kind of am. And she was like, oh yeah, I have a collection at the Little White House. I was like, you do? She's like, yes, I do pottery. That's why we were interested in looking at the building, because I wanted to use it for the pottery making. I was like, really? And then I look at the bottom, and sure enough, I'm holding her jug. And I was like, this has to be a sign. This has to be a sign. There's a reason why we connected again. So I messaged her. I said, hey, I don't know if you believe in signs, but you and I have to go for lunch. And she's like, absolutely, I do. A week later, we met for lunch. We sit down, and 1 hour turns into 2 hours, 2 hours turn into 3 hours, and this collection was born. I start telling her about this idea that I have of a business, and I want to name it Open Prime Living, and I want to do this blog where I could interact with my followers and have more of a relationship with them, get them to understand and know me better, and I understand and know them better. And she instantly stopped me and she said, you cannot name it that name. And I trust her. Why I trust her is because she, without saying too much, she is an executive in she's up there in the cosmetic industry, and this is what she did for a living. She was a lawyer. She's so accomplished, this woman. She's one of my mentors. I really, really love and adore her. So I'm going to take her advice. And she said, you have to have your name in your company. You are synonymous with your brand. You are your brand. It has to be Harper. And that is how the name Harper Living was born. Over 2 bottles of wine, sitting at the boathouse in White Rock, just sharing life stories, sharing how we came into each other's lives. And then I said to her, will you make me my first collection? Because I love your handcrafted pottery. And she said, absolutely. And she said, tell me a little bit more about yourself. And I did. I said, my kids, I can't get my older son to eat fruits or vegetables, and I can't get my husband to eat vegetables, and I really want them to. She said, but I said, every time I wash berries or every time I wash fruit and I put it on the counter, if it's washed ready for them, they will eat it. Sure enough, that's how the our berry bowl was born. And look at that, you guys, this is Harper Living. Isn't that so cute? So now I literally will throw berries in here, wash it, throw it on the counter. My kids run home from school, and this is the only way they eat them, because they're already washed, drained, ready for them. What I love about this, I love that it's not structured. I love that it's not perfect. I love that it's just a little hot mess of a bowl, just like myself. I love it. And I love that every single bowl is unique because it's handmade by Elise. She followed her passion. She went through the corporate ladder. She climbed it. She hit that bell, and yet she came back to her passion, which is working with her hands. And that's why her and I get along so well, because yes, I have this business. Yes, I run it. But at the end of the day, my business is my passion because I get to work with my hands. I'm an artist and she's an artist. And I just want to support every little being of hers, because when I look at this collection, it almost makes me tear up, because she also knows this cake stand. I love making fresh cookies, cakes. I love celebrating any occasion. My kids want a tournament, I'm going to make them a cake. So I love having fresh, like homemade baked goods on display. And so she made me this cake stand, and I have that a part of my collection. I have the bowls, I have the jugs. I love a good pitcher, not only for serving lemonade, iced tea, but for displaying flowers. Local flowers that you pick from your garden, or you could go from your local flower market. It's all there. The one dish that's really important to, even this candle stand. How cute is this? To have this a part of your dinner table or dinner arrangement, to have it just, displayed, to have it displayed on a coffee table. I absolutely loved it. I had to have that a part of my collection. But I think the piece de resistance, the one dish that brought it all together, is for Elise started following me and she said, you love to cook pasta. I'm like, everyone knows I love pasta. I must have been Italian in my last lifetime. But pasta is something that is so easy to make. It takes a couple of seconds, boiling water, throw some noodles in, throw in a good sauce, and you have dinner. And not only do you have dinner that we could all sit and share, and it's very communal. I love ending my day with my family around dinner table, and we're all eating from the same dish. So this is how the pasta tray was born, pretty much. So this is my pasta tray, and I love making a good pappardelle bolognese, just throwing it on here, and we all just pick from it, and we all just gather, and we all just share. And these are heirloom pieces that are handmade, one of a kind. No dish will be like the next. It's one of a kind, catered, custom to you. And this is how Elise DUFOUR and Harper Living collaborated together, and we made our first collection. Elise is now in Halifax. She's living there. She has her amazing pottery workshop overlooking the ocean, and that is where she sat and made all of these wonderful pieces for you guys. And they're handmade with love, with purpose, with thought and love that went behind every single piece. And I love them, and I hope you love them as well. And I know Elise loves them, and we can't wait to share this collection with you.